your channel, Nomadic Hippie.
Welcome everybody. Hold on. It looks like other people are live. Captain Jack Scrapper is live also. Don't mean to walk on Captain Jack. I just had an opportunity today to talk with someone in the stream, and so I figured I'd go ahead and do it. My time zone thing's all messed up. I thought I was going to go live at 7. Instead, I said 6 o'clock, and I told the guests that I was going to be live at 6 o'clock Eastern time, thinking 7 would be a better time to do it afterwards, but I had already created everything and got it all set up and got him ready to go on this time schedule. I don't know. It is a mess. But we're going to go ahead. I'm waiting for him to pop into the stream, and I got a link up there for him. It's kind of a surprise. I don't know if you guys are going to have many questions. Hope so, because the guy's pretty... I don't know what the word would be. Steph, what would the word? He's a master of a lot of trades, and I don't know if he's a jack of all trades, possibly a master at a few of them. After watching the space shuttle, go up and everything else, because he's an actual rocket scientist, worked for NASA. He's an actual rocket scientist, an author of some great books. This is the second one, I believe, in a series, and I just got this one because it was blue. Blue's my favorite color. The other ones are different colors. He also is a Lego genius. He's the one that created the Lego miniature museum inside the Superman museum. And what else does he do? TV personnel. I don't know. I don't know. He, president of NBC Studios, CBS Studios, Disney. He's a master of everything. And he should be popping in here in just a little bit, waiting for him to come on in. At the beginning, though, I know a lot of people's over at Captain Jack, so I'll wait for people to start rolling in. And one of the first people to roll in is the beautiful, the outstanding Box Fan D. Hello, Box Fan. Thanks for popping in tonight. Hopefully, Nicholas, or hey, Nick. Okay, so can you hear me? You have a thumbs up if you can hear me. You can? Okay, real fast, before I bring you up, on your browser, leave StreamYard open, but close YouTube, because you're going to be streaming through StreamYard now with that link I sent you. That otherwise it'll get feedback and all messed up microphone. So just on the top of your thing, just click that, and I'll bring you up in just a second. We'll let a few people pop in. This is kind of a spur of the moment thing, because I rarely go live anymore especially on Saturdays. I gave my slot over to Captain Jack. And everybody's kind of going live at the same time. It was my idiotic mistake to pick the 6 o'clock time slot when everybody's kind of scattered around in everybody else's live streams. But if you're watching this at a later date, I think you're going to enjoy it. Not exactly sure what we're going to talk about. I actually have no talking points. I'm sitting in the middle of a dirt lot down here in Florida right now, and I set my computer up like in 10 minutes. Got the camera going, that ready, and this awesome gentleman's book in the background. Got it all set up, kind of. But anyway, so if you have any questions, I don't exactly know everything he's going to talk about, but I know one specific topic, and it is about a super run. And I'm not exactly sure what that entails. I just been seeing the Facebook post about it. So we'll find out, and I'm sure he'll tell us all about it. And you guys fire away the questions. But first, let me bring him up, introduce him, and tell you his accomplishments and everything else first, because from what I understand from going to Metropolis all the time, this guy is a genius. He's a super genius. If he wanted to put his genius towards evil, we would definitely be in some big trouble. All right, so let me bring down Box Fan. Oh, let me say hello to, hold on a second, to Phoenix here. Hello, Phoenix Blocks. How are you doing today? And I'm assuming it's the Phoenix that I know up in the Metropolis area. I'm guessing. So Box Fan, just thank you, Box Fan, for sharing this out. we'll go ahead and I'll just bring him up, and as people start to pop in, hopefully they'll just get the gist of what's going on, because I don't know what's going on. All right, you ready? I'm sorry, Nick. You ready to come up? Yeah, thumbs up if you're ready. You ready? Okay. All right, and real fast. I don't even know if people can hear me because my microphone is in my RV at the moment, and I'm just walking around. I'm just dangling around here with a thing. So that was pretty cool that you contacted me and said,
well,
"Hey,
thanks,
I want to come
Rick.
on and talk about this event." So
Yeah,
you may
if you
look.
need-
My camera's over there, but I'm looking at my monitor.
Yeah, I'm trying to check. Yeah, I'm trying to look at my camera at the top of the iPad at the same time. Can you hear me though?
I got to figure out how to turn my audio up here. I think my microphone might be all the way up on this stupid computer. I went to Best Buy. I don't know if you remember. Oh, no, not there. I went to Best Buy and in Paducah, and I got this Nitro computer. Adam at the Super Museum said I need a gaming laptop, so I went over there to get it, and it's great. It works awesome, but the speakers on it are terrible. So I don't know. So yeah. So what is going on? And you want to tell everybody who you are and everything first, and what you do, and and then talk about your event.
Okay. Well, and you can hear me, right? Rick, you're good.
I can hear you. My microphone's just low, and on.
Oh, I can hear you fine. I just want to make sure. This is the first time I did this setup, so I just want to make sure I did it right. Hi, everybody.
Well, Box fan.
Sorry.
I'll go ahead.
Okay, we'll just go. Yeah, it's okay. Hey, so my name is Nicholas Mastromico. I also go by Nicholas Kara. That's my pen name with the great background that Rick has going there. Thanks, Bach. And what I've done over the last, say, close to 10 years is I've been writing novels such as The Gray Ghost, The Jewel Kiss Mysteries, and The Shadow That Walks underneath the Nicholas Kara name. And I've been trying to keep up with those novels. We have 2 down. I'm working on the 3rd one, which will be the ending of the trilogy of the Gray Ghosts story right now. But pandemic happened, so I sort of fell behind on writing. But I also do other things with that. Rick, I think, mentioned I built the Super Museum Lego there in Metropolis, and that was a really great start to some good working relationships up in Metropolis. I got to really know Morgan and Adam at the Super Museum through that, and then through them, other people, other businesses there in Metropolis. So something that we do with the Gray Ghost books all the time is every time I wrote a book, or at least once a year, because I don't write them, it's not my full-time job. So, only 2 books so far, but we always sort of came up with a T-shirt design. And what we did was we sold that on something called represent.com, and we would donate all that money to the sales of that money to charity. And so we did that for a few years. So last year, when the pandemic hit and everything shut down, I kept in good contact with Morgan and a lot of people up there in Metropolis, the owners of Sissy's Sweet Shop, Six and Vintage, Creations, Carla, all those people, great people in Metropolis. And as the year went by, it was more evident that the Superman celebration in Metropolis was going to get canceled, which, everything got canceled. Big events like Comic-Con in San Diego get canceled, everything. But different than San Diego, when a big event like the Superman celebration gets canceled in a city like Metropolis, that really hurts the local economy. And other business, and like just the businesses themselves being shut down. I think it was the first time the Super Museum was closed in like 30 plus years. They had to shut their doors. And a lot of the businesses there in Metropolis, some didn't have an online presence at all. They are mom and pop shops, and that's why we love them. You go in, the owners, you get to have a good relationship with them. But then when you can't walk in that door, a lot of them had to on the fly learn how to sell things online, and it was really tough for a town like Metropolis. I can't do a lot. I mean, I'm not saying I saved the world with it, but since I already had that ability to do T-shirt campaigns, something I quickly came up with an idea of this program called Support Metropolis. So, and this is there we go. This is one of the T-shirts we came up with last year, and we came up with 6 shirts for each one representing a small part of a local and family-owned business up there. And then we came up with like a ugly sweater version in the holidays, and all that money, every dime, went directly to these 6 businesses. It was the Super Museum, Sissy's a Sweet Shop, Six and Vintage, the Metropolis Chamber of Commerce, which actually is very locally funded, the Super Antiques and Collectibles, Super Museum, Sweet Shop, Sissy's, Six and Vintage, Chamber.
Yeah.
I'm missing one. But all right, so we did all those, and we were able to raise a decent amount of money last year.
I was saying the Super Museum was fortunate too, because Morgan's like really smart at online sales and everything else, so they were able to survive all this. But Morgan, a lot of the local businesses.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Morgan. She actually, she helped other
great.
ones start their online presence. Yeah, Morgan is. She was the a big exception. The museum being the one that already was selling online and stuff. But it actually started with the Super Museum because of my relationship with them. So we started this shirt, and as we went, I was like, hey, how about somebody else? So we talked and got into different. We went to Sissy's Sweet Shop, and then I know the lady at the at Six and Vintage, and we just kept rolling, and we had to stop at 6 because eventually making up cool designs for shirts, and you get too many, but we were able to help 6 businesses and raise a couple $1,000 last year, so it was something. But this year,
those shirt sales did a great job. I could not wait to get one. I was like all excited to get them because I knew all that money was going into town.
Yeah, I appreciate that because I came up with all the designs. That's me, and that was a really new one for me. Usually, like the Gray Ghost shirts, I come up with one of those like within a year. I mean, I'm meticulous. Okay, it'll look okay eventually, but those I had to come up with like every 3 weeks, and I wanted to incorporate something about the business itself. Like the Sissy's a Sweet Shop, I tried to play off of that great mural they have on the back wall, and Creations. That's the one I didn't name. I said Carla, but I didn't say her business. Creations Florist. I had a flower theme with it. So thanks, I appreciate that. Well, this year I was, as we all were, hoping everything's going back to normal, and so far so good. Everyone's getting their vaccines and everything, and but I'm
curious.
Really
now you don't live there. You live down in Alabama or somewhere, right?
Yeah, Huntsville, Alabama.
Where? What state do you live? Yeah, in Alabama. And so, like me, what drew you to that town, and what keeps you so involved?
It was really funny because I always think about that town. I didn't want to stop there at first. I'm a big Superman fan, but I'm not. And my wife Kim, we were going up to I think St. Louis for a wedding, going right down the freeway on that, and she's like, there's a big Superman statue there. I'm like, I don't know. But she's like, oh, come on, you'll love it. So she had me go, we stopped there, and I went to the museum, and I'm like, this place is pretty cool. And then that year, she's like, you want to go back to the celebration they have? And I'm like, okay, let's go. And I've been hooked on that city since. I don't know what it is about the city Metropolis. It is like, I think the thing that surprised me the most is when I thought I was going to Metropolis, and the reason I didn't want to go there at first is I thought it was a big city. I thought, you think Metropolis, I'm thinking like, because I'm originally from Ohio, I'm thinking like, okay, this is going to be like Cleveland or Pittsburgh. All right, they got a statue somewhere. But it's actually a lot more like Smallville. If you're a Superman fan, you know what I'm talking about. It is a small family-owned business family run, I would say, town that everybody knows everybody. I mean, with this whole thing, I need to find another business to put in the program. I ask businesses there, and they tell me who could use the help, who could do this. I mean, everyone's helping each other out, and it's just this town that over the years I've sort of gotten hooked on going back to. We've gone back to the celebration, well, for the last, say, at least 10 years. The only one we didn't go to was
You've been going that
last year.
long?
Yeah, actually, I've just been. Every
Yeah, I
year
didn't
we
see
go.
you this last year, even though it was a really small event this year or last year. But I did.
Well,
There was a couple people that showed up, but you didn't show up.
no,
My
this
heart was
past year
broken.
we didn't go anywhere this past year. We just didn't. It actually, I mean, this past week was the first week we ever went anywhere, and because we were fully vaccinated, I finally got to go back up to Ohio to see my parents. So that was the first time I saw them in a year and a half. So we seriously did not go anywhere. So when I know there was a little celebration they had there, and I was just like, can't go.
Well, they
So I'm
did
really
what they
looking
could
for-
do. Was they no? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, go on.
There is a delay.
Yeah. I'm used to Zoom meetings. I do
So,
this at work all the time. I'm always talking over everybody. I know. So
Yeah,
you go on, man.
I think my thing is the people. It's not the town so much. I remember the very first time I met Jim. It was at the Hollywood Americana, and I was just walking by wondering what the heck is this place. I walk in, it's closed up, the front door's open, so I peek in and Jim's in there, and I met him for the first time. And then the whole family just kind of took me in, and then it felt like the whole town eventually did, with Lori and William at the mansion and everybody at Harrah's and Sissy's. Well, Sissy's wasn't around back then, but it was just like it's more of the people that drew me in, because the town wouldn't be nothing without the people. It's not. It's an old Illinois town, but the people are great.
Yeah, and I think it's because it's that small town that they know. I mean, for me, because I love the show, I would say it's a very Mayberry-like feel where everyone knows each other. I mean, geez, the police station is right next to the museum, and it's a great town.
It's right there.
Everyone, you know everyone as you go. I mean, I think I know more people in the city of Metropolis than I do here outside of my work in the city of Huntsville, because it's a big city. You don't.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't.
You might know your neighbor. You don't know everyone in the city, though.
And I didn't know if you know, but I have a Superman statue camera over on the corner of the sheriff's department in the museum.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's
YouTube
streaming.
Yeah, no. Over the pandemic, when you set that thing up, I'm like, hey, I get to see somewhere. Nice.
Yeah, I haven't been doing it much lately.
But when you were testing it out.
Yeah, so I got a lot of questions for you before we get to your run that you're doing, because I'm really curious about that. Not exactly sure what it is. I've seen the Facebook post, but so but there is things like I think about a year ago when I started the Superman statue camera, I was trying to get Svengoolie to cut me like a little 30-second clip that I could put, like I do the promos at the beginning. And you said, well, just email, just text him. And I did, and nothing. How do I get that man to do a little chicken squeeze or something? Like when he's not doing anything, he likes to spend his time in Metropolis, squeak, squeak. I don't know.
Well,
so
I'm friends with Rich. I'm not as now I'm noticing over my shoulder. I have my photos of me and Rich, and I'm friends with a lot of those guys up there. Which actually, I through the book I've sort of got to know them. But he's just you would surprise you because he's on MeTV, which is national.
Mm-hmm.
He's just an incredibly
Morgan was
busy
on there.
Guy. Who?
Well, Morgan was on. Morgan was on, and I can speak with her.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay.
I love that episode.
Morgan's a star.
Collector's Call. That was good. She is. But the thing
She's
is,
a
you
rock
got to
star.
her early. You
Uh,
got to her before she got to be a star. You know,
yeah. Well, collector call is a
you
pretty
know,
big deal.
there might not be any working with her now. You know, once she got a collector's call, I'm not sure. But
Where in the heck
Rich
is the
is my. If you
microphone?
could get a hold of him, because even if I get a hold of him, just emailing him. I mean, and talking to him that way.
Uh,
So I have no insight to get him on there.
I know. I didn't think you did. Okay. So,
Yeah.
question. Now, because me and Adam talk sometimes and bring you up, especially when I got this book right back here. But and from knowing about you for probably a year or two now, you worked at NASA in Alabama, right? Not in Florida.
No, yeah, I work at NASA in Alabama. Yeah, still.
Yeah. What is that? Now, a quick question on I-10. There is a rest area that a lot of RVers, a lot of people in the stream go to, and there's a museum there. It's dense. I've never been there because it used to be part of the rest area, but now it's its own separate entity. What is
Okay.
what is that? What is that? Because I've never been able to get
I-10.
in there. Is it part of
What's I'm terrible with directions,
Stanless
so
or
you got to tell me. Dennis,
I
are you near?
I don't know
Are you
if
near
people like
Mississippi?
you work at that place. I'm not exactly. You're a scientist. I mean, you're a rocket scientist
Yeah.
that does Legos,
But
that loves
yeah,
Legos.
but I'm terrible at directions. So tell me, what state are you in? I-10. Let me know.
Alabama, I-10, first or second rest area, Stan something Space Center. It looks a lot like it looks like a science.
It has a giant Saturn V rocket standing in front of it, and a space shuttle, and
No,
it's the.
no. That's up and out.
Oh,
That's in
you're not talking about
central Alabama. Yeah, that's a space camp area
Well, there.
up there. Yeah, not there.
Yeah, that's.
It's down by the
Okay.
ocean. It's on the Gulf.
Okay. There could be one down there.
Don't worry about it.
I don't.
I'm sure a lot of
Yeah, I
these
don't
people.
travel that far in Alabama.
I got a
There's
question.
one I
Okay,
know
so
at the
I was
top of
thinking about this.
Alabama when you're coming in.
My damn microphone.
Yeah,
I was curious last night because the space shuttle program and everything no longer, right? And Elon's pretty much taken over. Now, do a lot of NASA people work for SpaceX now, or do they does Elon subcontract with NASA, or do you guys get to work with SpaceX? How does that work?
Well,
do
see,
you get to work on some of the equipment, some ideas?
well, okay. I'll clear that a little. Elon didn't take over. What NASA is doing, because the space shuttle, for all those years as I grew up, the only thing that the orbiter can do was to get, and that's why we call it the orbiters, was to get it to low Earth orbit, which is just up outside of the Earth, and that's where the International Space Station is, and that's what the shuttle's built. That's why we have the ISS up there. The shuttles can never go farther than that. You couldn't take a shuttle and go to the moon,
Okay.
or go to Mars. It never built to do it. I mean, it was almost out of gas by the time it got to low Earth orbit. So what NASA has now progressed from is we were, I don't want to say stuck, but we were in charge with the shuttles of getting astronauts to the International Space Station for 10, 20 years. And that's the farthest we went. We sent rovers to Mars, but we mainly did that. So what we've done now is we've sort of taken a two-prong approach to it. SpaceX, Boeing, other contracting companies are working for NASA to develop the SpaceX rocket and stuff to take astronauts back to low Earth orbit. So that's what Elon and SpaceX doing. That's their rocket, the Dragon, and it's taking all of the. It's going to be taking all of our astronauts to the ISS again because there's no shuttle, and until the SpaceX and those contracting companies got their rockets going, we had to have Russians launch U.S. astronauts to the ISS. So they're now taking them and putting they're going to be transporting all of our science missions and all of our astronauts to the ISS and back, or whatever in the future will be low Earth orbit kind of science and engineering. And that's what SpaceX is doing. They're doing a great job. I'm loving the whole Iron Man thing where they come back and land and reusable rockets. So we're engineering wise, we're not helping them. They've got their own deal, but when it comes to launching and everything, they follow our lead on launching. And I don't know the finer details of that with SpaceX. What NASA's doing now is we're working on what's called the Space Launch System, which is the SLS. And the Space Launch System is America's largest rocket, and that is going to take men, women back to the moon. And that's going to be hopefully launching this year. It's almost as, I think depending on the configuration, it's taller than the Saturn V, or it's just as close.
Wow.
And it's the most powerful rocket we've ever flown. And it will be able to lift much more than, say, the shuttle. The shuttle and a lot of smaller rockets are limited by what could fit in the cargo bay, what kind of thrust they have. The SLS can lift many more tons than that. So that's going to and has more thrust. So it'll get us farther out, and it'll get us out to the moon. And that, hopefully, our first test launch, that will be this upcoming fall, or hopefully, whatever they decide.
Yeah,
really,
I was just really curious what NASA's what their involvement with the space program is anymore, because all these private companies are doing all this great. They're just advancing so much, and then what's NASA doing? Are they going to be like just like an airport, like a big control center that lets everybody just do? I don't know. And people like you that do your job, I didn't know what.
To that, I mean, we do run a lot of the Kennedy and stuff. So when they launch from there, they have to work with us, and technically we're paying them to build a rocket to do that. But our NASA's main goal right now, other than science, I think next year's budget just came out. We're going to be working with a lot more environmental science, a lot more of actually a lot of research into aeronautics of better jets and such. But space-wise, which is my world, it is the SLS and the Artemis program. Actually, it is called that. It's the Artemis program, and that's the sister to Apollo, because one of our goals is to have the first woman to stand on the moon in this program. So that we're moving beyond low Earth orbit. SpaceX and those great companies, they're taking our slack, since we're not going to be doing low Earth orbit anymore. We're moving beyond that, going to the moon. There's many different plans, but the main goal in the end will be getting to Mars eventually here. That's what NASA's doing now.
Yeah, I was just like, I just found it interesting. I thought, I was driving through Atlanta the other day and going, this is the hub for Delta. Now, is NASA going that same direction where they're going to be the hubs for Amazon or Elon or whatever, Virgin Air or whatever? Are you guys just going to become the spaceports instead of the airports? Because I don't know if it was funding that NASA's backed off of all of space exploration and letting private companies and corporations come in. I wasn't sure exactly what was going on. And, I thought it would be cool if you guys were like that.
Years to get a rocket developed and created to be this powerful to get past low Earth orbit, because we didn't design anything or work on anything that could go this far since the 60s, since the Saturn V. We never had a rocket that really was beyond the notional phases that could get past low Earth orbit, because we did the shuttle for so long. So we've now moved over to letting Elon and SpaceX and all those great companies like Boeing and all those ones that have been working on it, they're doing the low Earth orbit stuff now for us. while we're moving beyond low Earth orbit towards the moon and Mars. So that's we haven't had a lot of like big launches. I know that. I know everyone's like, you haven't launched anything. We're like, we're getting there. We're getting there. And when we get there, you'll see it. I mean, you're gonna see it.
Well, I'm sitting here looking at Kennedy right now, about Kennedy direction, because every single day a rocket flies up, shooting satellites up there. It's like that. It's getting packed up there right now every day. I don't know how many satellites are going up, but nothing yet. The sky's clear. But yeah, I was just wondering, like, do you think that NASA will ever, you know, they had the shuttle program, the rocket program, the shuttle program, everything else. Now other companies are coming in doing it. Do you think, in your mind, do you think in the future, 20 years, 30 years down the road, they're going to kick it up and well, NASA really doesn't have to compete with private companies, right? They just work with private companies to better us all, and other countries, right?
We've always worked with private companies and international companies. NASA, I mean, a lot of people might not know that the shuttle was a contracted company out. You know, everyone thought NASA built it. We didn't build it. We just ran it. And I mean, there was a lot of contractors built into the shuttle program. It just wasn't as advertised as much as a contract. You know, SpaceX, it's out there. You know, they're flashy. I mean, they let you know they're there. I mean, Boeing's been a part of NASA, and other contractors have been for decades. So at NASA, I think there's a great balance that we have now where these contractors are going to come in and they're going to work with NASA for a certain what they can do, because there's not I mean, as a private company, unless NASA pays them, there's not a lot of profit or anything that, you know, for a company to just go to Mars. I mean, it'd be cool. You could pay for some, but I mean, so there's probably some millionaires that would pay you to do it. But, you know, to develop the rocket, it took us so many years to do. And that's a lot of money for a private company to do. But like you're seeing now, SpaceX or on all these private companies, all these satellites going up, that's something a contractor can do and maybe be profitable.
Okay, something just popped into my mind. Remind me, space aliens, before we're done here. Remind me, space aliens. But next question, these are just off the top of the head questions. So, how long do you think that things are really going to start kicking off when we start working with other countries like the Soviet Union, China, and the United States and other countries, kind of conglomerating into one, like Star Trek style, you know, where the base is in San Francisco and you get the Federation or something? Do you think, how far in the future, 50, 100 years before we all come together? And then, what, you know what I mean? It's just like, because right now we're all working separate. What would happen if we all pulled together?
Well, I mean, we're working separate, but not really. I mean, the one thing that space does is it does bring many organizations together. I mean, the International Space Station is a great example of that. That's every part of that was built in different countries. My favorite part that's not built in the U.S. is the Canada arm too, and that's the giant arm that comes over and grabs everything. That was built in Canada. When we have companies and stuff and different countries, we really do well globally. I mean, you know, we work very well with the Russians. We work very well with the Japanese. We work very well with European space agencies. And just because we have, I mean, NASA's sort of like the big boy in the room sometimes, but it's a great partnership that we do. And I think we're not the Federation yet, but it really...
Not yet.
Not yet.
We're getting there.
I'm looking forward
We're getting there.
Enterprise
Okay.
one day, yes, but
how great would it be to be the Federation, be part of the Federation? You're already in there. But someone like me, well, the Federation's going to need truck drivers, definitely, to bring goods to the rocket, so to the Enterprise. So I'll be part of it. Yeah. I don't know. I have an in with you. Okay, real quick before we get to the super run that you want to talk about. Yep. Last week, I'm only asking you this because you're NASA. Last week, or a couple months ago, actually, we got wind that the Pentagon was some tapes got leaked, the whole the spaceship thing. And then you get these admirals and, Air Force people going on the news now. Now 60 Minutes runs a special. Don't you think that should be bigger news?
Maybe.
Everybody, now that the government is saying, okay, aliens are real. These aircrafts are flying. We see them all the time. Yeah, and they put it out there, but as driving across the United States, no one cares. What do you think?
Well,
Do you believe in them still? Do you
all of
believe
it
this is all real? All these things are real?
I don't know. I always like that comment. I think it's in the book Contact. If there isn't anything out there, it's just a really big waste of space.
Yeah.
So it's very possible. I mean,
do you think any astronauts have seen anything?
Maybe. I mean, I know there was some astronauts that saw that. I remember they said something about colors once, but I wasn't involved in that at all. That kind of stuff is always, it keeps the imagination going. So if it is real, awesome. If it's not real, still awesome.
That's kind of like the ghost. That's like my ghost camera at the Riverview Mansion. That that's like it'd be cool, but you never know. There's always an explanation.
Mystery is always the greatest thing. I'm almost to the point that some things I just don't want to know. Is there a Loch Ness monster? Yeah. I don't want to know.
But I want to believe it.
I want it. I love having a patch on my one bag, but I don't want to know.
God, I look on the side of the road for. I'm sorry.
No,
I look on the side of the road for Bigfoot all the time. So,
and if you ever met him, he would never be as cool as you think he would.
What's that?
I love the mystery of it.
I do too. All right, so people are kind of curious. What is the reason you contacted me the other day? Is you wanted to talk about the Super Run, and I have no idea what it is. I just been seeing your artwork and graphics and stuff on Facebook, and I know you're doing something special. I'm assuming it's to raise money. Me and you do a lot of the same things. Like I give to the local food banks, and I in fact intended to give you a large sum of money to help out the Riverview Mansion. But it's like every time I get a little money, it's like, okay, this place needs it, and then next thing you know, I can't afford those Lego bricks. So it's like, yeah. But I know you're probably doing it for a cause, so I'll let you go ahead. So what is the Super Run?
Well, the Super Run, it's the continuation of the Support Metropolis program. This year in Metropolis, Illinois, now, like I said, everything is starting to open up. A lot of people are getting vaccinated and everything, so things are starting to open up there a lot more, and it's quickly, which is great. But they made the decision early on to postpone the Superman celebration this year in Metropolis till the end of July. So it's not going to be in 2 weeks, because every year it is the second week in June and second weekend in June, and that is that's just been that way, I think, since they started. But this year's the first year they've postponed it, mainly because it just seemed like it would be a lot more, from what I understand of it, at least, just from the outskirts, it would make more sense. People would be getting out more. They'd be more comfortable, going out to these kind of things by the end of July versus the first weekend in June, especially when they had to make this decision, because like the organizers, I mean, they have to plan this stuff so far in advance. So they've postponed it till June. Well, that's another 2 months that these businesses in Metropolis, who everything that got canceled last year, they've got to wait another 2 months till that street probably fills up again, and all that business comes in. So I wanted to do something else for Support Metropolis and these 6 businesses in our program, and then. It's 6 businesses, but also, since the chamber's involved, they distribute their portions of the money to all of the businesses in the chamber. So everyone gets a little bit as it goes. So I wanted to do something, and I didn't want to do another T-shirt thing. You don't want to overstay your welcome with that. So during the pandemic, the one thing I've been able to do here, working at home and being pretty much stuck at home all this year like everybody else, is I've been running. I've been running a lot. I hate running. I never have liked running before. I go to the gym, I lift, I play basketball, I like competitive sports. I hate running. I've never liked it, but you got to do what you got to do. So I've started running, and I'm not terrible. I'm not terrible at it. I'm not an Olympic at any stretch of the imagination. But since I've been doing it so much, and I've been pretty much running every day for the last year and a half, I decided to do what they call a virtual run, where you run technically a distance, but it's all you're doing is adding up. Like you run 4 miles a day, then you run 4 miles again the next day. That's 8 miles, and you run a distance. So I looked up how many miles there are in between my city of Huntsville, Alabama, and the city of Metropolis, Illinois, if you ran it. And it's 289 miles.
Wow.
Yeah. So if I wanted to act my way like Forrest Gump, I could jump on the highway and run past your truck and run up there.
He never stopped. He kept going.
He never stopped, and the beard would be terrible. But so instead of doing that, I'm doing the virtual run, which is every day I run X number of miles. Usually it's 4 miles or 6 miles during the week. And the plan was between May and the end of July, before the Superman celebration, to run all 289 miles. And during that, I've been posting on the Nicholas Cara Facebook page the progress. We're up to, I think, 70 or 80 miles now in over the month of May. And we got some ways to go, but we're if I've done my math right, hopefully, I should be able to hit it before the Superman celebration. And I'm hoping to maybe run like the last, 2 or 3 miles there and end at the statue there in Metropolis. So while I've been doing that, what we've been doing is setting up, it's a GoFundMe page, and it's gofundme.com/support Metropolis Saturn-2-super-run, and I can send you the link. Excuse me. And
I'm going to ask.
Yeah.
Would one of my? Could you say your website, or I know your Facebook, but do you have a YouTube channel? No, but you do have a website.
That is not up at the moment. Actually, the Facebook is where we're doing everything.
What about book sales? If I wanted one of my moderators to post a link, what kind of link would you like?
You could go with the Facebook page, and then we sell on Amazon. Under Nicholas Cara, I have an author page
for this.
Yes,
for that right there.
You could get that, the first book and the collected edition of the books. So those are on there, and we've been updating the Facebook page with everything that we're doing with Legos and everything, and this run. So all the links are there, and I could shoot you a link to this GoFundMe page. And a
funding page would be great.
Sorry,
and also sharing that. Your Facebook page always gets me going, because then I get to see what creature feature type movies come in on that, and Attack of the 50-Foot Woman and all that. I get to see all that because you guys always tag me in it. It's like, your Facebook page is.
You like that creepy Svengoolie stuff, so I always want to tag you on it when we're doing stuff like that.
I watch it. So,
yeah. Oh yeah, and tonight starts in a couple hours, but through this GoFundMe.
I don't have my watch on.
We're going. We're collecting funds for trying to support the run, and whatever we collect between now and the Superman celebration in July, I'm splitting that 6 ways with our 6 businesses, and they get every dime of it. I don't get any money of the GoFundMe page; it goes all to them. So that's the Support Metropolis run that we're doing right now.
So after the stream, if you go ahead and fire me off a link or something for to support you for this, I'll put it once I get that link. Once this video posts, after it goes live, I'll go ahead and drop the link in the description so people can click it.
Sure. I'll send that right to you. Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's the
no problem.
right now. There was a sport metropolis. It's been really fun. It's interesting trying to hit a goal for running after running just for a year. But this is like I got to hit this 289. I've got to hit this thing. So it's
But,
running. And
I'm
sometimes if I fall behind, it's you got to keep very regimented to hit that number in 2 months.
I'm trying. Me and the Riverview Mansion, we're trying, and the Super Museum, we're trying something because I fell in love with the Americana Hollywood back in the day. You know, Jim just let me go hog wild in there. I could spend hours and hours and hours inside that building, and now it's just sitting there. And my hopes and dreams is to bring that back to life, drawing more people in. And so me and Lori at the Riverview Mansion, we are firing up a restaurant out of the caboose at the museum for Superman Celebration as a pop-up. And then hopefully next year we're going to use this as a testing ground to see if maybe doing it spring, summer, and fall, and during tourist season, and leaving it open. And I'm thinking about leaving Florida for a few months at a time to go up there and do that. And because we need to get some tourism in that town. There's no reason that town shouldn't be. They have everything. They have Superman. They have the DC Comics. They have the celebration. Morgan did the fallback to Metropolis. I mean, there's so much ready to go. It's just how do we get the people off the interstate?
Yeah. It's the geekdom's greatest secret that once they find out about it, they just can't let go of. But you just got to get it out to the people. You got to get the city out to, like even me. I was like, okay, because like I said, I thought it was a big city. I thought it was a big like metropolis.
It's in the name.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like, oh, it's like Pittsburgh, which I love, but I'm like, I don't want to go there and see a little statue. No, it's a giant statue. It's like it's 15 feet tall. I know it's that big because actually, I don't know if it's this year or next year or how they're going to do it. I've built a 1-to-1 scale Superman shield of his chest of the statue. Like it's that big that they're going to raffle off this year or next year. I don't know what they're going to do with it yet because of, being can't. It was supposed to be raffled off next year. It's actually in the Chamber of Commerce right now. If you go see it, go there. It's right up front, and it's like 3 feet long. It took quite a while to design and build for him. I mean, and it's a giant statue, and it's a great city. It's starting to really thrive. I mean, businesses are going in there. You've got, I mean, if you walk down the main road just to get from the super statue down to the Lois Lane statue, you're passing, the museum. You're passing boutiques like Six and Vintage. You're going to pass a number of antique stores like Super Antiques. You're going to pass Sissy's Sweet Shop, which is as good as any Starbucks or any bakery. I'm happy I don't live there because I would be so fat if I went there every day. I mean, I would be eating cupcakes and their stuff that they post. It's disgusting. But you've got all these great things.
Well,
another statue. I mean, it's a great city. Now they even have the Metropolis Planet Ball down by the Lois Lane statue. They moved that from when.
And now you also have Hidden Gems, which I don't know if you've been inside yet.
Not yet. They opened. That's the Morgan's new store with a number of things that they had. I don't think they even had that in the museum gift shop. Like a bunch of stuff that they're selling there now. They have the super big boy, super big boy. I mean, where can you go?
We got
super big boy.
Yeah, she got 2 of those. So there's one down at the Americana, and then to put one in front of Hidden Gems.
Yeah.
So that's pretty neat. So when you had me take these photos of Superman, the 360 around, was that for the shield you were making out of Legos?
That was the shield. That was it.
Okay.
That was it because it's about a 4-hour drive from my house to Metropolis. Now I thought maybe of doing it, but then it's like, well, then I have to, get permission to get on a ladder and actually go up there and measure everything. So when I came up with the idea, I'm like, I decided to sort of use my engineering cap. And what I did is I took those images you gave, and your images have helped me out a lot. I mean, your drone images. 2 years ago, I built a small scale replica of the actual statue, whole thing out of Legos, and it was more about the base. Well, I mean, a lot of people don't know that base is actually the Superman S. If you look at it from going down, but if you don't see it from a drone, you might not even know that. I didn't know that for like 5 years. So your
I
images,
didn't know.
yeah. I mean, I saw it sort of from like a side. I'm like, oh, they made the S, okay, but you don't actually know exactly what it looks like till you sent me drone video of it. And then
Yeah.
and also you took images of what Morgan's roof looks like for the Super Lego museum, and I didn't know until you took that the museum is actually two buildings. It's two separate buildings that they connected.
Mm-hmm.
It has two separate roofs. So I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't design it like that, and I wouldn't have known that if you didn't, tell me that, because then I called Morgan. I'm like, hey, is your one roof slant and your other doesn't? He's like, oh yeah, because it's two buildings.
I will be adding to your Superman museum Lego in about after my trip home. I'm in Orlando now, but after my normal days off here next week or 2 weeks from now, I'm bringing something up to add to that Lego statue or museum thing. So a friend here, Jen Vargas, she'll probably be watching this later, but she made me my RV with my cat and me, and it's all Legos, and I'm gonna park it right outside your Lego museum. So and it's getting parked right there because I got a Lego figure of myself dressed as Superman, and Morgan standing right beside me.
Yeah.
We were ghost hunting we got two Lego figurines there on that thing already. I'm gonna park that RV right there.
There you go. I mean, she has a great display now for it. When they've redid that whole gift shop, she showed me the new display, and I'm like, I got to get up there to see that thing in person. So
definitely.
that was our idea from the get go. She was going to put a display up for this thing. That's so people to knock it over. But yeah,
I was just looking at.
Have helped a great deal on those things. From the statue that I think. I built two of those statues. One's in the Chamber of Commerce on one of their shelves there. The other one we raffled off to make money for the Save the Massic auction. So that was the little ones, and then of course the museum, and then the big one. I mean, you're there so often, so it's so helpful for you to get me those images, because what I did is I took every one of those images and any image I had, and I used a computer program to scale the pixels of the image.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked out the dimensions of the Superman shield and chest and everything, and got a rough dimension of what those are. And that's how I ended up designing and building the Superman shield that way. Because I called the mayor, I called the Metropolis Planet, I called everybody about getting, if anyone had, like drawings or anything of that statue, and no one really had a good idea of any. I mean, they know it was 15 feet tall. That was the main. Everyone knew that, but no one knew like how big the chest was, how big the S is, and so I had to sort of backtrack and figure that out from all those images.
So I got a question. It's kind of joking in one way, but it's kind of serious in another. How many NASA rocket scientists do you believe in their off duty are Lego creators?
A lot. I know a lot. We actually, there's a number. The fun thing, it's either the toy you played with your entire life, since you were a kid, or you sort of get hooked. You sort of get hooked later on. Like I played with Legos since I was a kid. I mean, I still have I have a giant box of the ones I had as a kid, and they were just, the fun thing was they were just little pieces. They weren't sets like they have now. I just had bricks, and I build the same buildings and probably have like Godzilla knock them down, or, and they're great. And the fun thing is those pieces still work today.
Yeah.
So a lot of engineers, I think, use that. Engineers love on their free time to either build models, Legos or be creative outside of the workplace, because I think it helps them in the workplace think about things in a different light. So
Are,
Lego.
so are are Legos your fidget spinners?
Um, Possibly mine. I built a fidget spinner out of Lego. I
You
had it
probably
sitting in a
could.
meeting one day, and I'm like, I don't know if I should have this. But it for me, the reason I got into Lego later was actually I have always loved building models. The thing I have always been bad at. My dad and I would go to hobby shop. We'd build models, build the USS Enterprise, the space shuttle, anything. We were terrible at painting it. Just it's a gift to some people, but terrible at painting. So they always you would spend so long just meticulously putting. There you go. A lot of them, yeah, and a lot of them like to fire. A lot of them do a lot of model rocketing.
Yeah, Boxman says that's how NASA created their first rockets.
Yeah, but hopefully they
That's
had better
funny.
painters. But yeah, a lot of us. So the painting stunk. We would look at it when we're done after we painted it and hate it and throw it out. But the thing about Legos, you don't have to paint it. So eventually, I decided what I wanted to do was build a rocket of what I was working on. Actually, it was the SLS. And as I was building it, and I tried to first build it out of wood and all this stuff, but we were in the development stages, so I had to keep changing it. Like the top of it changed, the colors changed, the schemes changed. Then I came up with the idea of doing Legos because you just change the part, you just change it. And I actually developed an SLS Lego that NASA was this close to like pushing Lego to build. And
Wow.
so
It's I went to the Lego store at Mall of America. Well, we have the one here at Disney too, but I went to the Mall of America one about a week ago, and it is unbelievable the things that the Lego that they're manufacturing with Legos nowadays, just inside the store. There's everything from Andy Warhol stuff to Star Wars stuff to full on cities and what were those things, Stephanie, that you like, the architecture ones? It's like you have to be a mathematical genius to be able to put these things together. I think that's in my math skills. I could do Lincoln logs. I always look at people that could create Legos as geniuses. I'm like middle of the road Lincoln log person, where my math skills don't have to be
the nice thing
great.
about them is they're just simple shapes. They're just bricks. They're just rectangles. And when you get rolling with them, you can find out that, hey, I could build a sphere out of this thing. How do you build a sphere out of rectangles? And that was really great. Once you see that you can be more creative than what this simple shape looks like, you just really start cranking away at them. It's just something you have to just keep playing with. I sort of cheat sometimes because I actually have Legos put out computer programs where you can actually digitally create the program, the product, and then you could either go on eBay or Bricklink and just buy the parts and build it. And that's how I built all like my original pieces, like the Superman shield and the Super Museum, all digital first, and then you just order the pieces, and then you hope they go together, because sometimes they look like they're going together on the computer program, and then when you put them under gravity, it's like, oh, that fell down. Now we have to fix that.
Well, my time is almost up. I got about 2 minutes left because I try and keep it short because I don't want to step on anybody, because we all have a community that we have our own little TV guide. So, and I kind of did this spur of the moment. And so I know because other people are going live tonight, like Captain Jack, if he's not already live. But real fast, if you want to go ahead and shout out anything, please do. And as we get closer to Superman, we'll revisit again, and I will be there, and I'll be live streaming from the Superman camera. So if you want to take over that live stream periodically, I'll let you if you're in town. So, but if there's anything you want to shout out, please do. Links, websites, say your book at Amazon or at the Super Museum. You can buy it at the Super Museum too.
Yeah, you buy it there. Well, okay. Just to throw the book there. So let me. The novels are the Gray Ghost Adventures by Nicholas Cara, Cara, and it's available on Amazon, Amazon Kindle, and they're a great, real family fun adventure story. You can read them to your kids. You can read them. I mean, if you like old radio shows like The Shadow and The Green Hornet, you'll love them. Up to new stuff with superheroes. It's a real fun series of adventures, and I'm still working on the third one. But even more important, we're doing the Support Metropolis program right now, and we're doing the Saturn to Super Run, which means from the Saturn V in Huntsville, Alabama, 289 miles to the Superman statue in Metropolis, Illinois. And I'm going to be virtually running that between now and the end of July. And we're hoping, if you can, go to our GoFundMe page, and Rick will have the link to that. And if you can donate $5, $10, whatever, every dime is going to a family and locally owned business in the city of Metropolis, Illinois. That's been pretty tough, affected by this pandemic. So we're trying to help them out. So we see all of them in the next couple months there at the Superman celebration, which is the last weekend in July. I think it's July 31st to August 2nd, but don't quote me on the date because I just thought of that off my head. And
it is that's what it is. It's the last day of July, and it's a 3-day event. So I guess that would be the second if there's only.
Yeah, I'd love to meet you there.
It's so spur of the moment and messed up this year, right? Everything's all messed up this year.
Everything's been messed up for a while, but once we get rolling and we actually get things going, we're going to love it just as much as anything. I mean, I can't wait to walk that street again.
Yeah, I can't. Well, even though I'm vaccinated 100%, I'm going to Hawaii in September. I'm going to all these places, and I know the CDC says vaccinated people can be with other vaccinated people, but you walk into truck stops, Walmart, somebody, you don't know who's vaccinated or not. So I wear my mask. Even though I'm vaccinated, I if I'm indoors, that thing goes on my noggin.
Yeah, it's a learned behavior that we have. I mean, I still put mine on. And it's a learned behavior we didn't ever have, and then we learned it real fast over, how many weeks because we had to, and now we have to get to the point where you feel comfortable not having it. And I don't even know personally when I'm going to be comfortable not having it. Hopefully by the end of July, because I'd love to just walk around like normal, but we'll have to find out. I mean, it's going to be everyone's preference of when they actually feel comfortable to walk around enough, because there's a lot of people that don't walk around with them, but I'm still there. But technically, I just vaccinated a week ago too, so it's been only.
You just have that little bit more security, So that's the way I look at it.
You just got to get that. When you mentally get back to where we were 3 years ago, I'll be like, okay, cool. And that's going to take a while.
Well, I read an article that Stephanie, it was Jen Vargas maybe sent me, where people that are going to continue wearing them, not only because they haven't been sick for a year now, even with the common cold, but also, how sometimes someone's standing too close to you in line, you give that look. They can't tell your look because you got a mask on, so it's kind of like you could stick your tongue out, anything at people, and they ain't gonna know. So I'm gonna wear it just so I can make goofy faces at people and not get in trouble.
It might help. It'll be a problem with me though. Being Italian, I give everyone looks for everything. So if I can't use my face to express what I'm trying to say, I'm very bland.
You got to use the eyes. It's all in the eyes.
I'm gonna have to learn this.
Do they wear masks in space?
No.
Yeah, on the International Space Station, do they wear the mask up there?
No, but the thing is,
because they got the helmets, right?
Well, yeah, but before they ever go up there, they're tested so much and isolated for weeks before they go up there that the chances of them having it or being affected are minimal. I mean, I
don't know. It's like the basis for every space horror movie, so I wouldn't know.
That and
there's an outbreak on in some ship and everybody dies except for one person and a cat, and then they're set adrift for hundreds of years.
Always a cat. We got
always a cat.
Yeah, horror movies don't have it if you don't have a cat.
All right. Thank you, Nick. And I appreciate everything you do. And we do need to get together and do that surprise for the Riverview Mansion. It's just taken me a lot longer than I thought it would. Things are starting to open up. Like I said, I'm going on trips. I got my passport now, and I'm ready. I just need to get. I just want to start doing things.
Oh,
And sometimes my money
everyone else
goes.
in the world. Yeah.
You know, just
No,
goes.
hey, we'll do that one day, and it'll be cool just as it is. Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope to talk. Well, I'll see you in Metropolis during Superman Celebration. But before then, make sure you send me the link. I'll put it in the description as this video posts, so people can donate to the run. And once I get it, I'll be donating. So,
Appreciate it.
because I know the money's going to good places. So I
Yes,
even have that same
dime's
shirt.
going to those businesses. Not a dime's going to us. It's all those businesses. So I appreciate everything you guys can do. Do you want me to send you the link on like Facebook Messenger? Is that easier?
You could text it to my phone, Facebook Messenger. It don't matter. Anywhere, I'll get it.
Good deal. Good deal.
And
Well,
I'll
thank you.
share it in the description.
Everyone that's watching the video, thanks for watching. And this has been cool. This is the first one I've done like this, so it really is pretty neat.
I don't know
I'm
if it's
used to
been
being
neat.
I'm used to being in meetings on Zoom, that are a lot less interesting.
I used to tease Steph when she was in corporate America. She was out in Boise, Idaho, and I was always so jealous of people that have those, what were those things? Conference calls. Yeah, because she was always in conference calls, and I always wanted those type of jobs. I wanted a job where I had a desk with a computer, could do conference calls, or I've always wanted to work at a store scanning objects and putting in a cash register. I've always wanted that job too. My whole life, never ran a cash register and never took a conference call.
Well, when you start
Now
this diner in Metropolis, you're going to be running your cash register.
that's going to be interesting. 50
Yeah.
years never touching a cash register,
Who's
except for in virtual reality. In my Oculus, I can do it, but this is going to be a first physical. So
the food is
all right, love you so much. I'm
Oh,
going to
yeah.
go ahead and say goodbye to everybody here in a second. I'm going to sign off with you, and please give me that, and I will get it up ASAP.
Will do.
And,
Thanks, Rick. Thanks for all the.
Thanks, man.
You
Don't be a stranger. I follow you on Facebook, and get that guy with the chicken up in Chicago area to cut me a quick 30-second Superman ad.
No
With a
problem.
cell phone. Just with a cell phone. Just hold a cell phone. Squeaking a chicken. I don't know. All right. Peace out, man. Thanks for everything.
See ya.
Bye. All right, guys. That was I'm gonna go ahead and go back and read comments. I apologize. I wasn't reading comments much. I was really trying to hear because I didn't have my computer, the speakers on it, even though it's a great, powerful, semi-powerful computer, the speakers are god awful. So I was trying to organize it so I can listen and everything. So I'm going to go back here to the beginning of the stream and start saying some thank yous. Well, first, let me go ahead. I seen yellow here. So let me give Tommy, who I know is really busy today doing some adventures. Let me go ahead and do a quick video for him so he can get back to river boating on the whatever river it is, and what, the Mississippi River or wherever he's doing now. He's on an adventure. Tommy's on an adventure. Thank you so much, Tommy. Now get back to boating. Or up in the arch. You got to go in the arch, and make sure that you hit that. That you guys all talk about that custard place in St. Louis. Go there, shoot a video there, so I know where it is, and see if they have truck parking. Box Van D has been amazing this entire journey. Thank you, Box Van, for showing up. Mary Jones, thank you for popping in. I know Van Vita is here. The Traveling Dingbats, link to his channel. He doesn't have a YouTube channel. I have friends that work in government, like FBI, CIA, and NASA, and sometimes jobs like that. Like one of my friends that works at Guantanamo, I can't pronounce that word. He had a YouTube channel for a while, and he actually had to stop because the government he wasn't allowed to have one. and certain thing. I'm assuming, and I don't. Nah, Nicholas could have a YouTube channel if he wanted one, but I couldn't get it out of him whether space aliens in these ships, if NASA people have been noticing them. We know the Air Force and Navy has, but NASA's tight-lipped. Box fan says, hello to any I have missed. We appreciate you supporting this. Thank you. And thank you, Box fan, for the shout out and sharing the channel. I think Tommy did the same thing later. I was trying to keep up while I was listening. It was kind of hard listening, but I was trying to listen and everything. But I think Tommy shouted out the channel too. And thank you guys so much. Tommy says, take it from me. Be glad you have not had to do conference calls. That's what Steph always tells me, that they're not as magical as I believe they are in my head. But I think you guys are fibbing. Conference calls are probably like the best thing ever, and you guys are kind of just like putting them down on here like, oh, you don't want one. You don't want one of these. It's kind of like this lollipop, you know. No, they suck. You don't want one, and then you continue eating it. Let's see here. I got to get going because I know other people are going live, and I don't want to step on anybody at the moment. Traveling Dingbat says, great interview, everyone. Have a fantastic weekend. You too, Traveling Dingbats. Let's see. Teresa was here also. I don't know if I said hello to her. Good night, everyone. Got to go get the brownies out of the oven. Night, Hippie. Night, Teresa. And I'm going to go ahead and sign off. And, Boxman says something here. Remember the erector sets. That was you probably even had to be smarter to do the erector sets, you know, than Legos. I couldn't do any of those. Lincoln logs, that was my jam right there. Take a log, put a log, grab another log. I could do squares really well with Lincoln logs to a point, but that was my jam. Let's see here. John Chalker. Hey guys, I have suggestions. Why don't we get some of the most powerful YouTubers in the world together at the Superman statue? That would be nice, but I don't know who those people are. And if they're that big of YouTubers, they probably don't want nothing to do with us. You know, that I can imagine. But it would be cool. Let's see here. What do we got? Haha, that's how created their first rockets. I seen that, and I made sure he's seen that too. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and sign off and get ready to head up to Savannah, Georgia. And I will drop the link to the fundraising site for his walk from Alabama, Huntsville, Alabama, up to Metropolis. So, and all the funds is going, I had a hard time hearing where it was going. I know it's going to small business. That's all I know. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch through my surround sound because I got to actually do something about the sound on this. I don't use my computer for audio or for sound, but I'm realizing I might have to. Until the next time, I am out of here. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Make sure to go back and rewatch this video, or at least click it if you do want to help the cause of saving a small town. Until next time, I love you guys. Get it ready. I got to get the end broadcast button ready here. On 3, 2, 1. Peace out, everybody.